Rahma Vivianita from 60. So this is my first video about psycholinguistics, and the material that I choose is Developmental, Parentese and Baby Talk. Parentese is the sort of speech that children receive when they are young. Parentese is also referred to as mother-raised caregiver speech, adult-to-child language, and as child-directed speech. All of these terms take into consideration the fact that the child receives input from many sources like mother, father, siblings, relatives, friends, etc., and that such input has spatial linguistic characteristics. And also there are characteristics of parentese. First, immediacy and concreteness. The speech that parents and others use in talking to children has a number of distinctive characteristics that evidently aid language learning. For example, parents generally talk to their children about what is happening in the immediate environment and not about abstract or remote objects and events. And second is grammatically of input. Generally, the speech directed to children is highly grammatical and simplified. Ungrammatical sentences are found to occur but rarely. Newport, 1975, for example, in a long-term study with 15 mothers, reports an incidence of only one ungrammatical utterance in 1,500 in their speech. Such grammatical consistency undoubtedly is useful to the child who is searching to discover the structures that underlie sentences. These research findings are not perhaps surprising, and they lend evidence against Chomsky's claim that children learn language despite being exposed to a high proportion of degenerate sentences. The third is short sentences and simple structures. Speech directed to children by adults also tends to consist of short sentences with simple rather than complex structures, such as the dog wants water as opposed to the dog which has been running a lot or wants to drink some water. And the fourth is vocabulary simple and short. The vocabulary typically used by adults is simple and restricted, such as see instead of notice, hard rather than difficult, and has simplified phonology and structure. For example, consonant plus vowel word patterns such as mama, wawa, and bye-bye are used rather than the more complex sound patterns of mother, water, and goodbye. And fifth is exaggerated intonation, pitch, and stress. Furthermore, adults exaggerate intonation and use a slower tempo and frequently repeat or rephrase what they or their children say. For example, adults tend to use higher pitch, slower speech with more and clearer pauses between utterances, and they place more distinctive stress on words than they do when speaking with adults. Additionally, adult speech to children refers more to the context of the conversation and often serves to clarify the children's utterances. These changes will vary depending on the age of the child the adult is talking to. The speech addressed to 2-year-olds will be different in modifications from that addressed to 10-year-olds. And the last one is older children to adapt their speech. It is interesting that not only adults but children to 10 use simplified speech and talking with younger children. For example, 4-year-old children produce simplified speech when talking 2-year-olds but not when talking to adults. Even though some of the 4-year-olds didn't have younger siblings, it seems two non-parents also simplify speech. The simplification of speech may well be a universal phenomenon. The simplification of speech may well be a universal phenomenon. And the second topic is baby talk. Baby talk is a form of parentese but with its own characteristics. While parentese uses vocabulary and syntax, though simpler than that addressed to other adults, baby talk involves the use of vocabulary and syntax that is overly simplified and reduced. Curious though, from a psycholinguistic view, is the fact that most of the features that baby talk adopts are those that have their basis in the early speech of children. Parents and others evidently believe that those features, when reintroduced back to the child, serve to foster communication. However, it should be remembered that baby talk is something that parents learn from other adults and involves standardized vocabulary. It is standard in the sense that such vocabulary is culturally transmitted over generations. Vocabulary. Most baby talk involves modification of vocabulary. There are already established like bow wow, pee and choo choo in English, and from such examples, we can see that the main sound structure unit that is often repeated. Sometimes it involves a closed syllable, as in pp. Thus, the sound structures of baby talk words is common to languages around the world. Another construction principle for many baby talk words is that they are supposed to represent the sounds that various things make. For example, they are onomatopoeic. Thus, English bow wow is apparently a simulation of the barking of dogs, and choo choo is the sound made by a train. And the fact that such a sound as choo choo in English is meant to approximate to the largely extent same locomotive bothers neither parent nor child. Here the word has become an entry in the standard baby talk vocabulary. Syntax. Syntax plays a less prominent role in baby talk than does vocabulary. Parents seem only occasionally to use standard syntax in baby talk. When they do, their utterances are strikingly similar to those in the children's telegraphic stage of speech production, with the focus being on word order. A mother might say, for example, something like, "Mommy, give Tony banana," instead of this syntactically proper, "I will give you a banana." In such an utterance, neither the modal will nor the article a has been included, and the names Mommy and Tony have been substituted for the more difficult personal pronouns I and you. And substituting proper names for personal pronouns is a common feature of baby talk that is not usually found in speech between adults. Certainly, fixed proper nouns are easier for the young child to understand than are items involving shifting speaker-listener relations. It is later that the child learns to cope with the speaker-listener complexities of I and you, and such proper name substitutions, it should be noted, also occur in parentheses and thus are not solely features of baby talk. And the effect of parentage and baby talk in language learning. Do parentage and baby talk facilitate language learning? The studies done on these questions demonstrate a positive but small effect. Other researchers also provides evidence that parentage may be effective, but only for children who are very young. And it seems to us that the fact that parentage and baby talk occur gives strong weight to the notion that they are beneficial. So that's all about parentage and baby talk. I hope you enjoy my video, and I'm sorry if I made any mistake, because this is my first. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.